and then he just needs a beat down, needs humbling. And instead of eating cheeseburgers, I'm going to feed him some humble pie.
It's something that we took very seriously and something that a lot of work has gone into, and obviously it hasn't been resolved. And
so, here's what just went down that nobody saw coming. Anthony Joshua just dropped a bombshell by taking Jake Paul to court over his role in that crash situation. This is sending massive ripples through boxing right now, and honestly, it's been a long time coming. Joshua's finally drawing the line on all this reckless behavior and attention-seeking nonsense that's been spinning out of control, proving that real accountability still exists in this sport. While Jake Paul seems to dodge consequences left and right, Joshua deals with genuine risk and real responsibility every single time he steps up, demonstrating to everyone what authentic leadership and true professionalism look like in boxing. This goes way beyond some Twitter beef or Instagram drama. This is serious legal business that shows Joshua is finished tolerating people who treat the sport like their personal playground for YouTube content.
Oh, he's this, he's that, he's that. I said, but why are you worrying about what someone else has done? What have you done as a fighter to kind of boost your ego up?
Eddie Hearn's confirmation that they're moving forward with legal proceedings is massive because it proves Anthony Joshua is taking Jake Paul to task through legitimate channels, not just throwing shade on social media like everyone else does. This isn't about generating buzz or farming engagement, it's about real accountability and ensuring there are actual repercussions for dangerous behavior that threatens people's safety. While the Paul brothers keep cashing in on mayhem and controversy, treating every situation like another viral opportunity, Anthony Joshua is working within the legal framework to guarantee justice gets served, demonstrating that true discipline and integrity go way beyond ring performance. This separates genuine champions from social media personalities cosplaying as fighters, and honestly, the difference couldn't be more striking.
Paying attention.
and he wouldn't do so. So we filed a lawsuit against him, and we'll leave it in the hands of the lawyers.
Carl Froch perfect.
Here's where things get really intense and show just how much disorder Jake Paul brings everywhere he touches. Paul's about to discover that Anthony Joshua doesn't mess around with pointless social media battles or petty online drama. Taking him to court is Joshua's method of establishing boundaries permanently, highlighting the enormous gap between authentic champions who've earned respect through sacrifice, commitment, and years of grinding versus internet personalities who think throwing money at boxing automatically makes them credible fighters. This reality check has been brewing for Paul for way too long, and now it's coming from someone who actually carries weight in the boxing world. Joshua choosing legal action over tweet storms or Instagram responses shows a level of maturity that should make everyone take notice of what's actually unfolding here.
You do. I'm not even arsed, man. I can't be arsed with this bullshit anymore, this clown world. It's a joke shop. It's just a big fucking...
Logan Paul's attempts to make light of this whole mess just expose how reckless and careless Jake Paul has been with his behavior and the toxic environment he builds around himself. Anthony Joshua barely made it through a potentially fatal situation that stemmed directly from the chaos and carelessness that surrounds Paul's whole operation and the dangerous culture these guys promote for clicks and views. While the Paul brothers crack jokes and mess around treating everything like entertainment content for their platforms, Anthony Joshua confronts actual life-threatening situations that could have destroyed his career or taken his life. This legal action is way overdue, and it's demonstrating that behavior has real repercussions and that influencers who treat boxing like entertainment will finally face the music for the harm they've caused. The era of skating by on reckless conduct just because you have a massive following is ending, at least when it comes to Joshua's tolerance for this garbage.
It is, what was it, about an hour ago, so I guess everything's calmed down a little bit. I thought it was a bitch move, if I'm honest, because anytime an attack like that is like...
Eddie Hearn breaks down the calculated recklessness that's been driving Jake Paul's behavior this entire time, and when you examine the pattern, it becomes crystal clear. Anthony Joshua didn't just survive some freak accident that could happen to anybody. He made it through something that was basically orchestrated by the toxic environment and chaotic situation that Paul intentionally builds and keeps feeding. This highlights the core difference between legitimate fighters who honor the sport and grasp the real dangers versus internet clowns who view boxing as is just another chance for viral moments and social metrics. Joshua's legal response demonstrates he possesses the maturity and responsibility that Jake Paul has never shown throughout his entire career. Something Jake Paul's gonna understand the hard way now that courts are involved and he can't just brush it off or drop a YouTube response video. Everyone can finally witness the reality behind all the manufactured chaos and fake drama and understand why Anthony Joshua earns complete respect, not just as a competitor, but as someone who values responsibility and refuses to accept recklessness that endangers lives.
As AJ said, and everybody knows, he's not a real boxer. There's levels to this game, and he was way out of his level, way out of his depth.
Duke McKenzie breaks down Jake Paul's weaknesses flawlessly, slicing through all the marketing and promotional garbage to show what's really happening. Anthony Joshua survived a legitimately deadly scenario that could have ended in tragedy, while Paul stays basically a content maker who's pretending to be a fighter, throwing money and hype at manufactured credibility he hasn't actually built through real competition. This situation reveals the true price of carelessness and what happens when people approach boxing like pure entertainment without grasping the genuine dangers at stake. Anthony Joshua demonstrates that real fighters confront serious consequences and comprehend the gravity of their choices, while Paul feeds off manufactured chaos and internet fame without ever experiencing legitimate accountability. This lawsuit will show him that pretending to be dangerous and actually being a credible fighter are completely separate things, and it's gonna humble his ego in ways that no Twitter beef or YouTube drama could ever accomplish. Reality is finally catching up to someone who's been running from it way too long.
He didn't do anything for his career, for his bank account, everything, for his development. I don't think he did anything for his development because he didn't have somebody in front of him that wanted to test his development.
Johnny Nelson exposes the basic hollowness of Jake Paul's career strategy and promotional gimmicks, while Joshua confronted genuine life or death stakes that put everything in proper context. Paul gets nothing except ego validation and social media buzz from his fake controversies and hand-picked opponents, while legitimate fighters gamble everything each time they enter the ring. That crash wasn't some random mishap that appeared out of thin air. It was a direct result of the careless environment and reckless culture that Paul deliberately creates for attention and content. Anthony Joshua is demonstrating exactly how to handle things properly with professionalism, accountability, and serious legal measures, instead of just swapping insults on social platforms or dropping diss tracks. Everyone now sees clearly who actually honors the sport and approaches it with proper seriousness versus who treats it like a carnival or reality show designed for clicks and drama. The Paul brothers' games and their entire boxing approach finally have genuine consequences attached, and it's about time someone with Joshua's credibility and standing made them answer for it.
I mean,
that's bonkers. Thank God he didn't have a seatbelt on. I never say that. Thank God he didn't have a fucking seatbelt on, because if he did,
there's no way
he would be dead.
Joe Rogan drives home just how close Anthony Joshua actually came to losing his life in this whole situation, and when you understand the specifics, it's genuinely frightening to consider what might have happened. This wasn't just chance or luck that kept him alive, it was the fallout from chaos and recklessness that Jake Paul directly caused through his behavior and the culture he builds. Paul's antics and his entire boxing approach endanger actual lives while he sits back laughing and collecting paychecks, treating everything like another episode in his ongoing content empire. Anthony Joshua beat terrible odds and is now taking serious action through legal channels, showing everyone that accountability actually exists and that there are boundaries to what conduct gets tolerated. This lawsuit isn't just about financial compensation, it's a clear statement that reckless conduct, clout chasing, and fake toughness in boxing won't be accepted anymore by people who actually care about the sport's reputation. Joshua is establishing a boundary and declaring that the circus atmosphere that's been growing around boxing because of social media influencers treating it like content ends now.
They're hustlers. They're just trying to be smart. So for AJ, this is about AJ, how he deals with it. He's got to stay focused, on point. Respect Jake Paul as though he's on the same level as him.
Johnny Nelson hits the nail on the head when he points out that anyone who understands real boxing knows that Anthony Joshua operates in a completely different universe compared to Jake Paul. Jake Paul gets hyped by his own delusions and his fan base who don't grasp authentic boxing, not by genuine skill, preparation, or legitimate victories against quality competition. The Paul brothers cash in on clout and fake chaos, but real boxing is always centered on discipline, dedication, years of preparation, and confronting genuine stakes stakes, qualities that Anthony Joshua embodies every single day. Taking legal action proves that Joshua won't accept recklessness and dangerous conduct anymore, establishing a firm boundary that can't be violated without repercussions. Everyone sees clearly now who actually earns respect in this sport, a champion who survives real danger and actively defends his legacy in the sport's integrity versus an internet entertainer feeding off nonsense and manufactured drama. The Paul brothers are finally being made to confront the reality of their behavior and the results of treating boxing like just another social media game, and Anthony Joshua's response is strong, justified, and completely serious in ways that can't be dismissed or laughed away.
We don't know. As with all these things, there's always a grey area, isn't there? But, you know,
Adam Smith notes that some boxing controversies and promotional moves exist in gray areas, but Anthony Joshua makes it totally clear that certain things cross every line imaginable, and Jake Paul's recklessness did exactly that without any doubt. This legal action isn't about some questionable situation or personal interpretation of events. It's about clear responsibility for behavior that endangered lives. Everyone is finally witnessing the difference between a legitimate fighter who's built every piece of his reputation through years of commitment versus a clout-seeking amateur who purchased his way into boxing with YouTube cash and social media followers. Joshua survived real danger while Paul joked about it and probably strategized how to profit from the controversy, and now he's proving that behavior has serious repercussions that extend beyond social media drama. This sends a powerful message that ego and chaos don't escape punishment when real lives are threatened and when someone with Joshua's standing decides to take action. Anthony Joshua proves that integrity and responsibility beat fake toughness every time, and that there's a fundamental gap between being famous and being respected in the boxing world.
What happened, obviously it's a tragic incident. 2 people have lost their lives. It's a horrific moment. I thought the reporting of it yesterday, I've read and obviously got in contact with his management team straight away. I thought the reporting of it was responsible, not speculative.
Gareth A. Davies emphasizes the tragedy of this situation and the responsible reporting that reveals the genuine severity of what Anthony Joshua survived and endured. Unlike the Paul brothers who feed on exaggeration, fake drama, and chaos that they manufacture for views and engagement, Joshua confronted real loss and authentic danger that could have permanently ended his life or career. The difference between these two approaches to boxing couldn't be more obvious if someone designed it intentionally. One side respects life, truth, and the serious nature of this sport, while the other exploits every situation for content, clicks, and social media attention without any concern for consequences. Taking legal action reinforces that accountability exists and sends a totally clear message that reckless behavior in boxing carries real consequences beyond negative press or social media criticism. Everyone now sees Joshua as a champion in every possible way, both in the ring and outside it, someone who manages tragedy with integrity, dignity, and proper legal response, while clowns profit from chaos without ever confronting real responsibility for the damage they create.
In AJ's life. And it's so crazy to think that over a week and a half ago, he was on top of the world. Apparently he'd pocketed $92 million from his Jake Paul fight. The American audience was in love with him. His star was bigger than ever. And then just yesterday, we see footage like this of AJ being pulled from the wreckage in a situation where if he'd just sat on the other side of the car, they wouldn't have been pulling him out alive. There's no...
The pain game. This highlights the harsh difference between fame and actual survival, between social media popularity and real-world consequences that can't be solved with good publicity. Anthony Joshua went from collecting a huge payday and sitting on top of the world to literally fighting for his life, all because of the recklessness surrounding the Paul brothers and the dangerous culture they build. While Jake Paul enjoys hype, promotional chances, and social media engagement, Joshua deals with consequences that Paul can't even imagine because he's never confronted anything close to this serious. This incident reveals who truly faces danger in boxing and who actually earns respect through their behavior and character, not just through promotional gimmicks and social media followers. Taking legal action proves that Joshua makes people answer for their behavior, showing everyone that real champions protect their lives and legacy with more than just tough talk and Instagram posts. The Paul brothers thrive on spectacle and fake controversy, but Joshua thrives on discipline, courage, and justice, taking real action through legitimate channels. The world sees clearly now the gap gap between fake bravado and real fighter mentality, between someone playing a character for content and someone who actually lives the life of a professional athlete with all its real dangers and responsibilities.
To really be there for them and the family, anything they need. You know, sometimes when someone is a star, they have a lot of things in their life taken care of for them. So you really have to move into that mode in this situation as well. Make sure obviously they're getting the best medical attention, make sure their family are safe and happy.
Eddie Hearn highlights Anthony Joshua's humanity and sense of responsibility, which truly distinguishes him in this entire situation. Unlike Jake Paul, who feeds on clout and chaos while treating everything like content for his next video, Joshua makes sure that people affected by tragedy receive proper support and protection in meaningful ways. This transcends boxing or promotional games. It's about character, integrity, and accountability in action, revealing who someone truly is when situations get serious. This lawsuit reinforces that recklessness carries consequences that extend beyond social media backlash or negative publicity. There are real legal and financial repercussions for creating dangerous situations. Everyone sees Joshua as a true champion who values people over publicity and substance over social media engagement, someone who takes action when it counts instead of just talking. The Paul brothers' antics are exposed as shallow and meaningless, while Joshua proves that real strength exists in courage, compassion, and ensuring justice actually gets served, both in the ring where he competes, and in life where he deals with the fallout from other people's reckless conduct.
This is an unbelievable loss. Send out Latvia for two incredible people who are not only part of AJ's team, but also friends. My sincere condolences to their families, loved ones, and everyone who knew them. Anthony Joshua, wishing you a speedy recovery. Stay strong, champion.
Alexander highlights the tragic human cost behind Anthony Joshua's recent experience, and when you truly grasp what happened, it becomes even more impactful. Two devoted friends who were part of his close circle lost their lives in this situation, and Joshua survived against impossible odds when things could have easily ended differently. This serves as a stark reminder of the real dangers that Jake Paul's reckless behavior indirectly caused through the chaos and culture he builds. Dangers that extend far beyond hurt feelings or social media conflicts. While the Paul brothers thrive on hype, chaos, and clout, treating everything like another chance for content and engagement, Joshua confronts life and death situations with dignity and courage that most people couldn't maintain under that kind of pressure. Taking legal action is a powerful move that not only protects his legacy and reputation, but delivers a strong message that reckless behavior carries real consequences that impact real people. Everyone now sees the difference between a true champion who values life, loyalty, and accountability above everything else versus internet clowns who profit from drama without ever confronting the real-world impact of their conduct and the environment they create. Anthony Joshua's strength and leadership come through in every statement he makes and every action he takes, proving why he's respected not just as a fighter but as a person. The reporting on Anthony Joshua's accident reveals how close he actually came to serious injury, including potential brain damage that could have ended his career and transformed his life forever. This isn't some boxing storyline created for promotion or social media engagement. It's reality, and it was amplified by the reckless environment that Jake Paul thrives in and intentionally creates for attention. The Paul brothers profit from chaos, posting clips and memes and treating everything like content while someone's life literally hung in the balance. Anthony Joshua's survival demonstrates his courage, awareness, and discipline, contrasting dramatically with the surface-level bravado of the Paul brothers, who've never confronted anything remotely this serious. Taking legal action proves that Joshua won't allow recklessness to go unpunished or unchallenged, proving to everyone that accountability matters as much as skill in the ring, possibly even more. This accident has made people recognize Joshua's strength outside the canvas as well, showing how he handles grief, loss, and legal action while maintaining professionalism and dignity that most people couldn't sustain. The Paul brothers are finally confronting the consequences of their carelessness and the dangerous culture they've built, and they're learning that some people won't just let things slide to avoid drama.
A little bit days water, he could get seriously hurt. I don't believe Josh would have. I believe Josh might have some
Tony Bulliu perfectly captures the severity of what Anthony Joshua endured during this entire experience. Spending days near serious injury isn't a stunt or promotional move, it's genuinely life-threatening, something that Jake Paul's reckless behavior indirectly contributed to through his actions and the chaos he creates. While the Paul brothers focus on ego, hype, and social media clout, treating Doking like just another platform for content creation, Anthony Joshua navigates real danger with courage and composure that comes from years of professional experience and genuine character. His compassion, resilience, and clarity under pressure separate him from clout-chasing entertainers who've never faced real consequences for their behavior. Taking legal action ensures that responsibility gets enforced and that there are actual repercussions for creating dangerous situations, showing that Joshua is serious about accountability. Everyone has now witnessed the stark contrast. A true champion confronts consequences directly and values life and integrity above social media metrics and engagement, while the Paul brothers exploit situations for fame without any real accountability or understanding of the damage they cause. Joshua's strength outside the ring matches his power inside it, and this incident will define his legacy as a fighter who commands respect beyond boxing, someone who stands up for what's right regardless of the consequences or backlash.